गुड इवनिंग फ्रेंड, वेलकम टू अ चैनल एग्जामपुर आईएएस इंग्लिश मीडियम। आप सभी का हमारे परिवार एग्जामपुर में स्वागत है। सो टुडे इन दिस सेशन वी आर गोइंग टू कंटिन्यू and in this session we are going to study basically what we understand by cloud computing, edge computing, and finally we will end our session after completion of quantum computing. ठीक है ना, these are the basic session. Apart from that, tomorrow a special session. Tomorrow, since it is Saturday, so we have to take certain marathon session, and tomorrow I have decided to complete your science and tech important current affairs for mains. ठीक है ना, for mains. So definitely certain 8 to 10 current affair I will take it, and that current affair will be very much important. And see, it's a trend. In 2020 I have given 8 questions, out of which 3 questions are being asked directly, 2 questions are being asked directly, and in 2021 I have given around 8 to 10 questions again, but 2 questions were asked. So definitely before examination I will give you around 10 questions, and out of the 10 questions at least we can hope that certain questions will be asked. So tomorrow my session of current affairs is very much important for those who are preparing, and apart from those who are preparing for the mains examination. वेलकम मृदुल जी, ऑसम क्वीन एंड अवनीश तिवारी जी। चलिए, सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी हैव टू स्टडी एज कंप्यूटिंग। एज कंप्यूटिंग क्या होता है, व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड बाय एज कंप्यूटिंग? ठीक है, चलिए, ओके। सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी हैव टू थिंक ऑफ द क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग। व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड बाय क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग? Cloud computing is on demand availability of a computer system resources, especially data storage, cloud storage, and computing power without direct active management by the user. See, when you talk about the cloud computing, basically what is it? Suppose these are the user. Yeah, this is a user. This is a user. Okay, this is a user. Okay, and he is using laptop. This is the laptop. This is laptop. This laptop. And all the datas जो है he is stored over the cloud. This is the cloud. He stored all the data over the cloud. Cloud means what? If the data are being stored in Gmail में डाटा स्टोर कर रहे हैं आप, गूगल ड्राइव में स्टोर कर रहे हैं, ठीक है ना, डॉट. So this is what? This is your cloud. When the data are being stored over the cloud, so that if you want to extract the data, you need internet. This is called cloud computing. इसे हम लोग क्या कहते हैं? Cloud computing कहते हैं. Okay, now just let me know what are the advantages of cloud computing. Avnish Tiwari, Mridul ji, please do let me know certain advantages of cloud computing. Simultaneously, please explain certain disadvantages of cloud computing. If advantages and disadvantages are known, then only we can think of eliminating the disadvantage by introduction of your edge computing. तो मुझे बताइए, please do let me know what are the advantages of cloud computing. बताइए एडवांटेजेस ऑफ क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग। एनीवन आउट ऑफ यू? सर्टेन एडवांटेज ऑफ क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग क्या है? एडवांटेजेस में क्या होगा? एडवांटेजेस में है, सपोज फर्स्ट एडवांटेज इज व्हाट? डिवाइसेस स्टोरेज जो है इज बीइंग सेव्ड. डिवाइस स्टोरेज इज बीइंग सेव्ड. योर ओन डिवाइस स्टोरेज जो होगा, डिवाइस स्टोरेज इज बीइंग सेव्ड. ओके, फर्स्ट थिंग. व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट द सेकंड थिंग, व्हाट इज इट? सपोज if the devices जो है, if you have lost your devices, yeah, apart from that, if the devices are storing, if you are storing data in devices, suppose if your devices is being lost, or if it is being stolen, or due to XYZ reason, if it's broke down, then it is very difficult to retrieve the data. And because of this only, you store the data in your Google Drive or Google Drive, Gmail, and whatever it is. Because if the data are being stored over there, they are being safe. So these are the certain reasons. So क्या लिख सकते हैं? Data is safe. But think of certain disadvantage associated with cloud computing. Yes, very good. कोई मूवी हमारा कोई डाटा डिस्ट्रॉय नहीं होगा तो हम जल्दी से उसी यूज. वेरी गुड. एंड प्लीज डू लेट मी नो व्हाट आर द डिसएडवांटेज. आप सोचिए व्हाट आर द डिसएडवांटेज. डिसएडवांटेज क्या होगा? तो सबसे पहला डिसएडवांटेज की बात करेंगे. सबसे पहला डिसएडवांटेज, व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट द डिसएडवांटेज, द फर्स्ट डिसएडवांटेज इज व्हाट? यू नीड इंटरनेट कनेक्शन फॉर द पर्पज ऑफ परस्यूइंग योर डाटा. इज इट ओके? इफ द डाटा आर बीइंग स्टोर्ड ओवर द क्लाउड, देन डेफिनेटली there is some connectivity. That connectivity is called internet. You need internet to pursue this data. So internet is the first requirement. First is what? Internet requirement. And second is what? Second is your latency. Latency means what? Suppose if you store data over your computer and ask you to place the movie Padmavati or whatever it is, you can play it simultaneously. But if the same movie is being stored over the cloud, and if I ask you to play the same movie, it will take time. Because first of all, there is a on-way path. You have to go to the cloud. You have to search the movie, and after searching the movie, you have to go for the downloading of the same movie. Then only you can play the movie. So that is what latency is. Latency. So these are the certain drawback. And if you want to reduce the drawback, then the concept of edge computing it is there. ठीक है ना? So we'll go for the edge computing. ठीक है ना? So let me explain you the basic regarding the edge computing. This is a cloud. This is your cloud, and if it is being used, it is called cloud computing. Cloud computing. Already we have stated what are the disadvantages associated with it. So we have to write the disadvantage over here. Disadvantage already we have seen. The first of all, the disadvantage was internet connection. It is your internet connection. ठीक है ना? Internet connection. And when you talk about the second, it is your latency. Okay. Now how this disadvantage can be removed? Think of it. Yes, 10 to 15 seconds. But now the think of it, how we can reduce this latency. किस प्रकार से आप latency को remove कर सकते हैं? This is the system. ये क्या आपका laptop है? Just think of certain idea. If the data are being stored nearest to the system, think of it. If the data are being stored nearest to the system, it is called edge computing. ठीक है ना? If the data simple सा है. If the data suppose ये डाटा है आपका, ठीक है ना? डाटा 1, डाटा 2, data 3. So what I mean to say, if the data are being stored nearest to the system, if the data are being stored nearest to the system, it is called edge computing. Is it okay? Clear hai? Okay. So what we have seen, suppose if the data are being stored over here, you need internet to pursue those data. Apart from that, there is a latency. ठीक है ना? How to remove those? The best approach is what? If the data are being stored nearest to the system, latency will be removed. Apart from that, you do not need the internet. So this is called edge computing. The best example what we can give regarding the edge computing is your one is your pen drive, and it is your hard disk. Okay, hard disk. Okay, so these are the two basic examples in which you can quote regarding what your edge computing it is. ठीक है ना? Now think, this is the basic thing what we study. Now please do let me know why we are discussing regarding the edge computing. What is the reason for it? So when you talk about the 5G, ठीक है ना? Very soon in India also we will have the 5G, and due to the launch of 5G, whatever the devices we are using, all those devices will become smart devices. मतलब those devices will become Internet of Things devices. Listen to me. Due to the launch of 5G, you can write it. Due to the launch of 5G, the devices that will be available in the market, it will be like a smart devices. So a smart devices which means what? Even the car will become smart. So they the data should be stored. If we are storing the data over the cloud, it is very difficult to pursue them without internet connection. Apart from that, fast access to the data is not feasible. So that's why we are thinking of edge computing, so that we can move with the technology, we can move with the 5G revolution, we can move with the smart devices. Is it okay? Clear है? Is it okay? ठीक है? So this is what I have mentioned the reason. According to a research by 2025, just listen to me. According to a research by 2025, companies will generate and process more than 75% of the data outside of traditional centralized data center, that is at the edge of the computer. So this is being said that by 2025, 75% of the data will not be stored on the cloud, rather it will be stored nearest to the system, that is called edge computer. That is called edge. Internet of Things devices are generating vast volume of data, and approximately 80 billion devices will be connected to the internet by 2025, because by 2025 we will have 5G revolution. 5G it will be there, and due to the launch of 5G, most of the devices will become smart in nature. They will work on Internet of Things, so they will be generating a lot of data, and those data should be stored. So we will try to store the data nearest to the system, that is called edge of the system itself. ठीक है? Edge computing already we have discussed. This is the example of edge computing. ठीक है ना? Car, this thing, all those devices जो है, they will store data nearest to the system itself, called edge computing. ठीक है ना? Benefits क्या होगा? What are the benefits of edge computing? Are you there in the class? Mridul, Avnish, awesome queen. Now we have to see what benefits of edge computing. ठीक है? तो first is what? Cost effective. First is your cost effective. It allows for efficient data processing, in that large amount of data can be processed near the source, reducing internet bandwidth uses. This both eliminates cost and ensures the applications can be used effectively in remote locations. The first is what? Cost effective. That means what? Due to the launch of 5G, much of the devices will be smart in nature, and they need frequent internet. Most of the devices will be your smart devices. They will be called Internet of Things, and they will be generating huge number of data. So that data should be stored near the edge of the computer. First, apart from that, reduced latency. If you are storing the data over the cloud, we need internet, we need a certain time to get it downloaded, and such thing can be avoided when we store data over the edge. Faster response, that is same. Okay, chaliye. Increased data security, already we have explained. If you are storing the data in your laptop, or if you are storing the data in your laptop, there is a possibility that the data may be lost due to the theft of the computer, due to breakdown of the system, or due to anything. But if you are storing the data over the edge computing, definitely it will be saved. है ना? Definitely it will be saved. Uninterrupted connectivity. It allows the smart devices and manufacturing equipment to operate without disruption, even if they offline. And the internet matlab, if you are storing the data over the edge computing, you do not need all the time internet. Without internet also you can pursue your data. Works on multiple devices. ठीक है? Applications की बात करेंगे. What are the applications of edge computing? A smart city and architecture. Many cities across the globe are contending for the take of a smart city. Internet of Things devices will make living in such cities easier for citizens. The use cases have ranged from municipalities providing faster urban services, repair of equipment, traffic management, public safety, and the green energy provisioning. That means what? Smart cities में क्या होता है? When you talk about the smart cities, what are the certain things that are being associated with the smart cities? First of all, smart parking. In the smart cities, a smart parking will be there. Suppose that parking is being allocated to Mridul, and if I start parking my car, obviously a voice will come, sir, this parking area is allocated to Mridul. Kindly do not park your car here. So this is what? The smart devices, it is being there. And in those devices, datas are being fed. Datas कि this particular slotting area is being allocated to Mridul. वो data कहाँ store होगा? The data will be stored near the edge of that particular device. ठीक है? Customer experience, retail and hospitality. Customer sentiment data and social media data is collected, analyzed to improve customer experience. Data here is being captured by kiosk, point of sale. Facial and image recognition as a way of identifying customers and reduce fraud in verticals such as retail banking. So the even edge computing जो है, it is being used for the facial and image recognition, and the data that are being collected with the help of facial and image recognition, it will be stored near the edge of the system itself. सर टेलीग्राम किसका एग्जाम्पल है? किसका एग्जाम्पल है टेलीग्राम बताइए? इट्स ऑल्सो ए सोशल मीडिया. It is also a social media and it falls under the cloud computing itself. ये भी जो है आपका cloud computing में ही आता है. ठीक है, चलिए ओके. Challenges की बात करेंगे. What are the challenges associated with this technology? What are the challenges that is being associated with the edge computing? First is, according to expert, edge computing introduced several new security challenges. One of the most prominent concern is the physical security of the devices, which are more vulnerable to the malicious attack, mishaps of all the kinds that typical. So suppose if you store the data over the cloud, there is at least safety that maximum क्या होगा, you'll forget the password, but there are certain processes by which you can retrieve your own password. But whether laptop devices or edge computing, it is being lost, then it is very difficult to retrieve it, or it is being stolen, or if it is broken down. So data security का issues है. Micro data centers such as those being deployed by the telecommunication companies in some cases at the base of the cell tower introduces the level of physical vulnerability that did not exist with micro data centers such as those being deployed by the telecommunication companies in such cases at the base of the cell tower introduce a level of physical vulnerability that did not exist with corporate data centers and large cloud providers. Meanwhile, many organizations will be challenged to understand, track and monitor what data they have and where what protections are required at the various points. So if you want to introduce this edge computing, in the beginning itself there will be a lot of challenges regarding how to store those data. Apart from that, how to protect those data. ठीक है ना, ये सब आपके सिक्योरिटी चैलेंजेस होंगे. ठीक है, जस्ट अ मोमेंट. ठीक है. Example of what? Example of edge computing is NVIDIA. Remember one thing, NVIDIA, one of the biggest player in the design and manufacture of graphics and artificial intelligence acceleration hardware, has just announced EGX edge computing. याद रखिएगा, EGX edge computing. ठीक है ना. So we have completed regarding the edge computing. Now we have to start quantum computing. Is it okay? Clear है? Avnish, Mridul, is it clear? Now we have to discuss regarding the quantum computing. What is it? In this topic we have to basically study regarding what is quantum technology, quantum computing क्या है, SICAM or use of quantum technology, National Mission of Quantum Technology Application, Mekius quantum satellite. Is it okay? Any doubt? हाईली कॉन्फिडेंशियल सर जी, ये शेयर मार्केट. और देखिए, व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट द शेयर मार्केट, जब शेयर मार्केट के बारे में बात करते हैं, ठीक है ना, तो शेयर मार्केट जो है इट इज रनिंग ऑन इंटरनेट. इट इज फ्रीक्वेंटली रनिंग ऑन द इंटरनेट. व्हाई? आई एम परचेजिंग सम शेयर एंड somebody is selling the share. ठीक है ना, that has to be continuously updated. So it is running on the internet. So the data जो है at the time of marketing cannot be stored over the edge of the system itself. It has to be on the cloud itself. ठीक है ना, because frequent internet is being required. वहां पे आप ही नहीं है, lots of crores and crores of retail investors are being there. ठीक है, चलिए. तो क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग के बारे में बात करते हैं. ठीक है, क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग के बारे में बात करते हैं. इज इट ओके? ठीक है, चलिए. सो क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग में क्या होता है, देखिए पहले हम नॉर्मल कंप्यूटर के बारे में बात करते हैं एंड वी विल ट्राई टू कंपेयर द नॉर्मल कंप्यूटिंग विद दैट ऑफ द क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग. एन ऑर्डिनरी कंप्यूटर चिप्स यूजेस बिट्स. There are like tiny switches that can be either be off or on, 0 1 से represent करते हैं. A normal computer uses binary language to perform all its tasks. सपोज नॉर्मल कंप्यूटर की बात करते हैं, व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट द नॉर्मल कंप्यूटर, हाउ द डाटा इज बीइंग रिप्रेजेंटेड। नॉर्मल कंप्यूटर की बात करते हैं, नॉर्मल कंप्यूटर, सपोज नॉर्मल कंप्यूटर की बात करते हैं, नॉर्मल कंप्यूटर की बात करते हैं, इट यूजेस बाइनरी लैंग्वेज, है ना। ये क्या यूज करता है आपका, बाइनरी लैंग्वेज यूज करता है, बाइनरी लैंग्वेज यूज करता है। बाइनरी लैंग्वेज का मतलब क्या होता है, इट यूजेस 0 and 1, इट यूजेस 0 and 1। 0 मतलब होता है ऑफ, स्विच ऑफ, और 1 का मतलब होता है ऑन। सपोज इफ आई वांट टू राइट वर्ड, तो वर्ड को किस तरीके से कंप्यूटर, देखिए कंप्यूटर इसको 0 1 0 1 इस तरीके से रिप्रेजेंट करेगा, ठीक है ना, इस तरीके से रिप्रेजेंट करेगा। ओके, इज इट ओके? चलिए, computers are physical system, the laws of physics dictate what they can do and cannot do. In particular, the speed with which a physical device can process information is limited by its energy. The amount of information that it can process is limited by the number of degree of freedom it possesses. Think of it, when you talk about the speed, speed of the system जो होता है, speed of the system depends upon the degree of freedom. Speed जो होता है, speed of the system depends upon the degree of freedom. Depends on degree of freedom, degree of freedom, ठीक है। तो डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम की बात करते हैं, तो यहाँ पे क्या होगा, 0 होगा, 1 होगा, 0 and 1 होगा। तो दिस इज द डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम। ओके, so what we have discussed regarding normal computer. So before starting quantum computer, we must know what the quantum technology is. Before starting quantum computing, we must know what do you understand by quantum computing. ठीक है, क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स के बारे में थोड़ा आइडिया होना चाहिए। अब देख सकते हैं, इट इज अ साइंस डीलिंग विद द बिहेवियर ऑफ मैटर एंड लाइट ऑन द एटॉमिक एंड सबएटॉमिक स्केल एट सच ए स्मॉल स्केल। लॉज ऑफ क्लासिकल न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स आर नॉट वैलिड। इन क्लासिकल मैकेनिक्स an object exists at a specific place at a specific time, but at atomic scale an object cannot देखिए क्या होता है, suppose we are talking about क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स। दो मैकेनिक्स होते हैं, क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स की बात करते हैं हम लोग, ठीक है ना। क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स की बात करते हैं, तो क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स जो है, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इट इज वैलिड ऑन एटॉमिक एंड सब एटॉमिक स्केल। ये कहां पे वैलिड होता है, एटॉमिक एंड सब एटॉमिक स्केल। समझिएगा, सारे कंसेप्ट को समझते हैं हम लोग। क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स में क्या होगा, पहला पॉइंट, न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स इज नॉट वैलिड इन क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स। क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स की बात करेंगे, इट इज एप्लीकेबल ऑन एटॉमिक एंड सब एटॉमिक स्केल। एटॉमिक क्यों होता है समझेंगे, एटॉमिक एंड सब एटॉमिक स्केल, सब एटॉमिक स्केल, ये आपका जो है एटॉमिक एंड सब एटॉमिक स्केल पे एप्लीकेबल होता है। बट याद रखिएगा, एट एटॉमिक एंड सब एटॉमिक स्केल जो होता है, न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स मतलब व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट द न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स, न्यूटन फर्स्ट लॉ, न्यूटन सेकंड लॉ, न्यूटन थर्ड लॉ, ठीक है ना। सो क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स में क्या होता है, न्यूटन्स लॉज आर नॉट वैलिड इन क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स। न्यूटन्स लॉज आर नॉट वैलिड, क्यों, न्यूटन्स लॉज आर नॉट वैलिड, न्यूटन लॉज आर नॉट वैलिड, ठीक है ना, न्यूटन लॉज आर नॉट वैलिड। ओके, अब इसको किस तरीके से समझा जाए। न्यूटन का सपोज फर्स्ट लॉ की बात करते हैं, व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट द न्यूटन फर्स्ट लॉ, एन ऑब्जेक्ट एट रेस्ट, क्या न्यूटन का फर्स्ट लॉ क्या है, an object at rest remains at rest, an object in motion remains in motion unless and until certain outside external force is being applied, है ना। तो वहां पे कोई ऑब्जेक्ट रेस्ट पे रह रहा है, कोई मोशन में है तो मोशन में रह रहा है, unless and until some undisturbed forces act on it, ठीक है ना। लेकिन यहां पे जब क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स की बात करते हैं, तो क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स में क्या होता है, इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू गॉज द पोजिशन एंड वेलोसिटी ऑफ दोस पार्टिकल। किस तरीके से क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स को समझेंगे, क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स को समझने के लिए जो है, यहां पे क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स में क्या होता है, द पार्टिकल स्टार्ट बिहेविंग बोथ एज ए पार्टिकल एंड वेव एट द सेम टाइम। तो व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट द क्वांटम पार्टिकल्स, क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स, द पार्टिकल इन क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स बिहेव एज पार्टिकल एंड वेव एट द सेम टाइम, ठीक है ना। इन क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स समझेंगे, डोंट वरी, इन क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स it behaves particle behaves in quantum mechanics, particles behaves both as particle and wave, both as particle and wave। मुझे पता है आप लोगों को कुछ समझ में नहीं आएगा अभी तक, समझेंगे, डोंट वरी, ठीक है ना। तो जब हम क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स की बात करते हैं तो क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स इट इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम योर क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स, इट इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम योर क्लासिकल और न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स बिकॉज द न्यूटन्स लॉज, न्यूटन फर्स्ट लॉ, सेकंड लॉ, थर्ड लॉ आर नॉट एप्लीकेबल इन दिस रिगार्ड। Basically, when you talk about classical and Newton mechanics, they are applicable on bigger objects. But when you talk about quantum mechanics, it is applicable on atomic and subatomic scale, जैसे electrons, proton, neutrons, photon particles, ठीक है, okay. आइए when you talk about this particle जो है they behave as particle in wave itself। तो quantum mechanics जो होगा it is applicable on which particle? Quantum mechanics जो है applicable on समझेंगे हम, डोंट वरी, एप्लीकेबल ऑन फोटोन, इलेक्ट्रॉन, प्रोटॉन, न्यूट्रॉन, फोटोन पार्टिकल्स सारे एप्लीकेबल है, ठीक है ना। नाउ टू अंडरस्टैंड quantum mechanics we have to quote Heisenberg uncertainty principle। anyone having idea regarding the Heisenberg uncertainty principle? It is because of Heisenberg uncertainty principle we are able to understand how the particles behave in quantum, how the particles behave when you talk about the quantum mechanics। Heisenberg uncertainty principle का idea किसी को? To understand quantum mechanics we have to quote Heisenberg uncertainty principle। देखिए, to understand quantum mechanics, it is very much essential to go for Heisenberg uncertainty principle to understand quantum mechanics, Heisenberg uncertainty principle, uncertainty principle is very much important, ठीक है ना। Now anyone idea regarding Heisenberg uncertainty principle? Anyone? Awesome Queen, Mridul, Avnish Tiwari, Mridul ji, kindly let me know। Already we stated when you talk about the quantum mechanics, the particle जो है they become quantum in size। particle जो है we talk about the atomic and subatomic particles, and जब atomic subatomic particles की बात करेंगे classical and Newtonian mechanics is not applicable in this regard। मतलब when you talk about electrons, proton, neutrons, photon particles, in this quantum mechanics is applicable, Newtonian mechanics will not be applicable। Now I will explain you why classical or Newtonian mechanics is not applicable when you talk about the quantum particles। Anyone idea regarding what is it? Idea है what Heisenberg uncertainty principle is? जल्दी से बताइए। आई एम नॉट गेटिंग योर फीडबैक, आपके फीडबैक नहीं आ रहे हैं, जल्दी से बताएं मुझे। सो वी कैन नॉट पोजिशन, ओके, वेरी गुड। सो क्या है हाइसेनबर्ग अनसर्टेनिटी प्रिंसिपल? इट स्टेट्स दैट it states that it is not possible, it is not possible to measure, it is not possible to measure both position and velocity, both position and velocity at the same time, and velocity at the same time, and velocity at the same time. ठीक है? Okay. So Heisenberg uncertainty principle, it states that it is not possible to measure both position and velocity at the same time. एक ही समय पे आप जो है किसी पार्टिकल का पोजीशन और वेलोसिटी नहीं पता कर सकते. It is very difficult to measure both the position and velocity at the same time. Example, suppose this is an atom and this is the electron. If you want to measure the position and if you want to monitor the monitor the momentum. Suppose you are using an, this is a radiation. आपने, you have supplied this with radiation. Now what you will do? If the radiation strikes the electron, you can monitor the position. The position is being monitored. But when you try to when you try to monitor the momentum, at that time what it will happen, the electron जो है, it will absorb certain portion of the energy, and because of the absorption of certain position of the energy, the electron will shift to this region. So now it becomes very difficult to monitor the velocity. It becomes very difficult to monitor the velocity. That is why it is being said that when you talk about the quantum mechanics, or when you want to measure the particles, when you want to measure the subatomic particles position and velocity, it seems difficult. That's why Heisenberg uncertainty principle stated that simultaneously you cannot monitor both the position and velocity. तो this is Heisenberg uncertainty principle. ठीक है, हाइसेनबर्ग ने कहा कि एक ही समय पे आप जो है पोजीशन वेलोसिटी नहीं पता कर सकते, बट एट दैट टाइम इट वाज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू ग्रैस्प. टू मेक इट सिंपल, व्हाट डज इट मीन? श्रोडिंगर केम इनटू पिक्चर. ठीक है ना, श्रोडिंगर भाई साहब जो ही केम इनटू पिक्चर. ठीक है ना. Now to explain Heisenberg uncertainty principle in a very simple and lucid language, apart from that, how we can take the, how we can look into the application factor from the Heisenberg answer. Heisenberg simply stated that it is very difficult to monitor, to measure both the position and velocity at the same time. Now how to get the application factor, how you are going to utilize it? To make it simple, Erwin Schrödinger came into picture. What he did, it was a thought experiment to display the weirdness of quantum laws. According to Schrödinger, a particle can be in all the position states until the state is specifically measured. So Heisenberg uncertainty principle said that it is not possible to measure both the position and velocity at the same time. And to make it simpler, Erwin Schrödinger, he stated that if the positions are not known, let us consider that the particle is present in all the states, because position is not known. Now to make it simple, suppose he did with a hammer cat arrangement. A milk has been kept into the box is completely sealed. You do not have webcam, you do not have CCTV camera, no one can peep into that, no one can peep into this box. Now a milk has been kept, and apart from that, cat is been there in the box, and a hammering arrangement is there. Now if I ask you what is the status of cat, whether it is live or dead, what you will say? If the cat has tried to take the milk, if the cat has tried to drink the milk, definitely the hammer will have killed the cat. But if the cat is quite aware regarding the hammer, he will not try to drink the milk, so she will be in a live condition. Now live and dead both are existing at the same time. Live and dead both are existing at the same time. Here क्या है? Live state and dead state are existing at the same time, live and dead state जो है, live state and dead state are existing at the same time. तो इसको हम लोग क्या बोलेंगे? इसको हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? क्वांटम सुपर इम्पोजिशन कहते हैं. क्या कहते हैं? क्वांटम सुपर इम्पोजिशन कहते हैं. Quantum superimposition means that live and dead can exist simultaneously. ठीक है? Okay. So when you talk about the quantum computer, suppose the normal computer आपने देखा normal computer 010101, but when you talk about the quantum computer जो है, it's works on the basis of quantum superimposition and quantum entanglement. ठीक है ना? Quantum computer works on the principle of quantum computer it works on two principles. First is your quantum superimposition. Quantum superimposition and second is your quantum entanglement. ठीक है ना? entanglement. So already I have explained what do you understand quantum superimposition. If the states are not known, if you do not know the state of a particular matter, then you have to consider that the particle is present in all the state through Arvin-Schrödinger equation. ठीक है ना? If you do not know whether the cat is live or dead, you have to consider that the cat is present in both the cat is present in both the state. That is, the cat is live and dead at the same time. ठीक है? So that is called quantum superimposition. Is it clear? क्लियर है क्या है मृदुल? हार्ट बीट, ऑसम क्यून. इज इट क्लियर? क्वांटम सुपरइम्पोजिशन. क्वांटम सुपरइम्पोजिशन मीन्स इफ द स्टेट इज नॉट नोन टू यू. फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ आई आस्क यू द स्टेटस ऑफ cat, if you are unable to say, you will say like, if the cat has tried to drink the milk, then dead status. But if the cat is well aware of the consequences, see then live status. So you are not aware. You are not aware. That is by using the dual statement. So at that time quantum superimposition said that if you are not aware of the situation, if you are not aware of the states of a particle, you must consider that the particle is present in all the states. So live and dead condition will exist at the same time. So that is called quantum superimposition. The another word, quantum computing works on the two principles. That is your quantum superimposition. The other is your quantum entanglement. So quantum superimposition already we have discussed. Now we have to think of quantum entanglement. Now what is it? It is a physical phenomena that occurs when a pair or group of particles is generated, interact in a way such that the quantum state of each particle of a pair of group of cannot be described independently of a state of each other. So now we will see normal computer किस तरीके से काम करता है. Normal computer जो है, normal computer, when you talk about the normal computer, how the data will be represented. If I am talking about word, how the data will get represented 0 1 0 1. But when you talk about the quantum computer, because of superimposition means what? Both the probable state will exist together. What it will happen? 0 and 1 एक ही साथ में हो सकता है, 1 0 एक साथ में हो सकता है, 0 0 एक साथ में हो सकता है, 1 0 एक साथ में हो सकता है. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? When you talk about the normal computer, either it will be 0 1 or it will be 1 or 0. But when you talk about the quantum computer, since in quantum computer what the particles are being used, the particles जो हम यहाँ पे use करते हैं, they are quantum particles. They are quantum particles in the sense it will be like electron. यहाँ पे क्या होगा? इलेक्ट्रॉन होगा, प्रोटॉन होगा, न्यूट्रॉन होगा, photon particles होगा. So when these particles are being used due to Heisenberg uncertainty principle or due to Arvin-Schrödinger equation, the quantum superimposition will happen. That means 0 and 1, because you not know what is the position of that particle. So 0 and 1 will exist at the same time. 1 और 0 भी सेम टाइम पे हो सकता है, 0 0 भी सेम टाइम हो सकता है, 1 1 भी सेम टाइम पे हो सकता है. ठीक है ना? तो दिस इज कॉल्ड क्वांटम सुपरइम्पोजिशन. नाउ थिंक द डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम हैज इंक्रीज्ड और नॉट. इन दिस पोजीशन either it has to be 1 or it has to be 0. But in this condition it can be 0 1 at the same time. Even they are existing at the same time. That means the degree of freedom has increased. And because of this quantum superimposition, and because of this, remember, and because of quantum superimposition, the speed of quantum computer is much more higher than the supercomputer. Are you getting my point? यहाँ पे क्या होगा? नॉर्मल कंप्यूटर 0 होगा या 1 होगा, है ना? 0 होगा या 1 होगा. But when you talk about the quantum computer, 0 1 0 1, both can exist at the same time. So look at the speed. Look at the degree of freedom. And because of this, the speed of quantum computer जो है is much more higher than the supercomputer itself, because of quantum superimposition. ठीक है ना? Remember this thing. So because of, I'm writing it over here, because of superimposition, because of quantum superimposition, the speed of quantum computer is much more higher than supercomputer. So we have understood what is quantum superimposition. Now we have to understand what is quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement क्या होता है? Quantum entanglement का मतलब होता है, when you talk about the quantum entanglement, 0 and 1 1 0 0 0 0 1. So in the quantum state, when you talk about the quantum entanglement, zero cannot exist independently, one cannot exist independently. They can exist together, and it is very difficult to divide them. Are you getting my point? When you talk about the quantum entanglement में क्या है? Both 0 and 1 are existing in such a manner that it is very difficult to dissociate them. If one is being dissociated, the other will also get disturbed. इतनी दोनों को दोनों में इतनी ज्यादा प्यार मोहब्बत है कि दोनों एक दूसरे के बिना रह ही नहीं सकते हैं. इसको क्वांटम एंटेंगलमेंट कहते हैं. क्या कहते हैं? क्वांटम एंटेंगलमेंट कहते हैं. क्वांटम एंटेंगलमेंट का मतलब होता है, क्वांटम एंटेंगलमेंट रिफर्स both the particles 0 and 1 are existing in such a way that if either of the particle is being disturbed, if either of the particle is being disturbed, other particle will also get disturbed. Other particle will also get disturbed. Other particle will also get disturbed. ठीक है ना? Other particle will also get disturbed. Now what it is going to ensure? Quantum entanglement ensures the security of the data. Security of the data that is being transferred by the process of quantum computing. ठीक है ना? So remember one thing that is very much important for prelims. Quantum entanglement ensures security of the data. ठीक है? Security of the data. Is it clear? Is it clear? जल्दी से बताएं. Now it is clear. So quantum superimposition जो है, because 0 and 1 can exist simultaneously, ठीक है, at the same time, it ensures the speed and performance of the quantum computer. At the same time, when you talk about the quantum entanglement, we have seen that 0 and 1 are existing in such a manner that it is very difficult to dissociate them. If either of them is being disturbed, the other will automatically get disturbed. So that ensures the security of the data that is being transferred to the quantum computing. Clear? Okay. So already we explained. Now we have to see. So using this technology of both quantum superimposition and quantum entanglement, we have developed the quantum computing. Remember, in the quantum computer, the particles that are being used are of subatomic particles. Like we can use the particle like electrons, protons, neutrons, photon particles. These particles are being used in quantum technology. Now we have to think of quantum computer application. Already we have seen that the speed of quantum computer is more than 10,000 times of supercomputer. And so when you talk about the supercomputer, its speed is more than like 1 lakh times that of normal computer. So presently, the quantum computer is having the highest speed. So we can think of certain applications that is being associated with quantum computer. The applications like quantum computing with potential application in precise navigation for defense, civilian applications, accelerated drug development by accurate chemical simulation. During the time of COVID-19, you are being aware or not, when the complete world was being devastated with COVID-19, it was very difficult to think of what type of drug or what type of molecular combination is being applicable to the COVID-19. At that time, the supercomputer of America, that is in Summit, it has diagnosed at that time more than 8,000 molecular combinations are present. Think of it. मतलब 8,000 molecular combinations present, and out of that 8,000 molecular combinations, we have to think of 8 to 10 applications that is applicable in the case of COVID-19. So if you go through the manual things, it will take around 2 months. But Supercomputer of America Summit did it within 2 days. Within 2 days, 8,000 molecular combinations are being checked, are being simulated. That what type of molecules, what type of drugs is being applicable in the cases of COVID-19. Now think, we are having the quantum technology. We can even very fastly develop the medicine. Personal medicines can be developed. ठीक है ना? Precise navigations, apart from the disaster management. When you talk about disaster management, the quantum technology जो disaster management के लिए भी काफी ज़्यादा helpful है. Quantum meteorology to provide more capable means of detecting stealth aircraft that cannot. Stealth aircraft means those aircraft that cannot be detected with the help of radar. Also radar technology fails to detect those aircraft. ये किसके अंतर्गत आएगा? ये आपका क्वांटम टेक्नोलॉजी के अंतर्गत आएगा. Submarines and also mineral exploration and water resources management. So we have studied regarding the quantum computer. Now what do you understand by quantum supremacy? Quantum supremacy क्या होता है? So quantum supremacy means the research have been able to use quantum computer to perform a single calculation that no conventional. So when you talk about the quantum supremacy basically reflects, no doubt we are having the idea for the development of quantum computer that quantum superimposition and quantum entanglement can be utilized for the development of quantum computer, and the particles we also know that electron, proton, neutron, photon particles can be utilized for the development of quantum computer. But knowing is different and utilizing is different. Whether we are able to develop quantum computer and whether we have checked the performance of quantum computer, whether we did certain calculations with the help of quantum computer, if it is being done, then we can say that we have achieved supremacy in terms of quantum computer. अगर हमने कर लिया है, that means we can say that we have achieved supremacy in quantum computer. So Google की बात करें, when we talk about the Google's quantum computer named Sycamore. Google ने आपको quantum computer बनाया जिसका नाम क्या? Sycamore. Google quantum computer named Sycamore claimed supremacy because it reportedly did the task in 200 seconds that would have apparently taken supercomputer 10,000 years. सोच सकते हैं? Just think of it. Google, we have achieved supremacy in terms of quantum computer because Google has developed quantum computer named Sycamore, and we have checked the performance itself. A certain mathematical calculation was there. If that mathematical calculation was being given to America's Summit supercomputer, it would have taken 10,000 years. कितना 10,000 साल लगता. But the same mathematical calculation was being solved with the help of Sycamore supercomputer. कितना 200 सेकंड में. Think of the performance of quantum computer. ठीक है ना? Okay. ठीक है. So looking at the benefits of quantum computer, the government must take certain initiatives so that we also come in the line of in the development of quantum computer. So government has initiated National Mission on Quantum Technology and application. National Mission on Quantum Technology in application. Union Budget 2020-21 proposed to spend more than 8,000 crore on the newly launched National Mission on Quantum Technology. So government has proposed to spend more than 8,000 crore. कितना? More than 8,000 crore for the development of quantum technology. The mission seeks to develop quantum computing linked technologies amidst the second quantum revolution and make India the world's third biggest nation in the sector of US and China. So when we talk about the quantum mission on quantum technology, the government has proposed to spend more than 8,000 crores so that we will be also able to develop our own quantum computer, and we have to be third in the development of quantum computer after US, China. So these are the things. The last left is a quantum satellite. We will discuss in the next classes, not an issue. But abhi jo hai, don't go anywhere because I have kept a special session on the eve of Raksha Bandhan. We will discuss regarding what are the approach, what are the strategies that should be adopted if you want to crack UPSC in first attempt. So don't go anywhere. We'll meet at 9 p.m. So thanks to everyone. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.